Welcome to Further Yoga. As promised, this is going to be a beginner yoga flow. Also, if you're using my videos, thank you for using my channel. And if you will, just below, there's a little gray arrow. If you push that, it will expand into a description box and it will give you like all sorts of links to other things that Further Yoga does. And there's also a link to donate money to kind of what I do here, because especially right now, this is my yoga studio. So your support is appreciated. So beginner, because a lot of times people say that it's beginner, but it's really not. It's different to teach like beginners like this, because in a class, the way I teach to beginners is I always say, you just get in there and you do what everybody else does. And beginners come into classes, and if no one else ever tells you this, hear me now. No one cares what you're doing. This mat is your space, and nobody's looking at you. And if they are, you're in the wrong studio. And all you do is never go back there again. And you'll know if you feel uncomfortable, it's your practice. And if you're uncomfortable during your practice, that's not your practice. So don't be intimidated by yoga studios. You just gotta get in there and do it. So today I'm going to start with the breath, because really after I say no one cares, it's just yoga and this is your space, there's no competition in yoga, the next thing I do is I move to the breath, and how the breath and the body are equally as important in your asana, your pose practice. So I'm going to teach you quickly a breath that I really like to use, because it will help you step into an actual vinyasa flow. All vinyasa flow means is that breath and body move in tandem throughout the practice. So we're going to use a breath called Ujjayi breath. And what that means is Darth Vader breath. It's audible. It's an audible breath. So you put your hand in front of your face like you're fogging up a mirror, and I also have all of this explained in Yoga 101. And if you're a beginner, do the drop-down menu and click back to Yoga 101, and I break down each pose for you. So Ujjayi breath, there's a video on that. It's like about 5 minutes long. And it's like this. We'll do it really quickly. Like you're fogging up a mirror. And you get that constricted feeling in the back of your throat. This is Ujjayi breath. So you want to bring the air in through the nose, through the back of the throat, until you hear and you feel that feeling, and hear the sound. Ocean breath, big full breath in. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. That's Ujjayi breath. And you want to ease the breath in and ease it out. So there's no one's going to die of asphyxiation from like breathing. It's not that breath. It's a smooth, just opening of the back of the throat as the air moves in and out. And kind of even, so, you know, if your breath was 4 counts in, it would be about 4 counts out. The idea in a vinyasa flow, and trust me, with time, your vinyasa flow will become really evenly spaced with the breath. But in the beginning, no one cares. You just really try to use the breath as best you can, and it'll change. If for a minute you need to take little short breaths, that's what you do. And then when you remember the Ujjayi breath, you just plug right back into that breath. And that's how I'm going to teach all these beginner classes for now. So we're just sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to breathe in and out. That's it. And we're already already doing yoga. So close your eyes, take a breath in, and exhale. Take another breath in, and exhale. So you're doing yoga. Breathe in, breathe out. Gently open your eyes and breathe in and breathe out. Now I want to teach you how the breath works with the movement, and since this is our first beginner lesson, we're going to stay seated, and each movement gets one breath. So I love Vinyasa Flow. So if you're in a Vinyasa Flow class and the people have been practicing for a while, the entire class can be one breath. Like you can hear everyone inhaling and exhaling in tandem, and it's really kind of like a magical space and sweaty space to be in. So what we're gonna do is just seated, we're gonna, okay, when you lift your arms in yoga, your shoulders are very important. And the best part about shoulders, put your hands out in front of you, is that they're so like shouldery. They just have so much range of motion. No other joint has this whole thing happening. Like they can go all over the place, right? What you want to do is when they're out in front of you, you don't want them out of socket. Like you don't want them pulled out of their socket. You always want to have the shoulders pulled back in socket. So let's just massage that joint just a little bit. So feel that. Out, in. Do it a few times. Just out of the socket, pull it back into the socket. Just a little bit of movement so that you can experience that there is an out and there is an in. A few more. Excuse me. Bless me. Okay. That's how you just want to become aware. You're really going through this practice to become aware of how your body works. So our shoulders are in their sockets and we're sitting up nice and tall, and we're just going to reach our arms up. That's all that we did. So when we reach our arms up, we're going to breathe in. Here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring the arms down. Go again. Breathe in and reach up. Breathe out. So every upswing, there's an in-breath. Come down is an exhale. Breath and body work together. So we're just going to do a little bit of stretching through our sides and let you kind of get the feel for the Vinyasa flow. So reach up, take that breath in. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Use that full breath. Reach up, lengthen from the waist. Exhale, lean over to the right. Just walk the fingertips over. When you inhale, I want you to open your heart towards the ceiling. And then stay for the exhale. Big breath. Even exhale. We're going to reach up in the middle, so we're breathing in. Hands down to the side, so we're breathing out. Big breath, inhale, lift up. Left fingertips to the mat. Reach to the side body from the waist. That's an inhale. Exhale, lean over to the left. So that's a down movement. Breathe in, open the heart. Stay and breathe out. Take a big breath. to the center. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Keep that rhythm. One more. Use your air, reach up. Right hand down. Exhale. Breathe in, open the heart. Stay for the exhale. Come back to the center. It's an in-breath because you're reaching up. Exhale, left hand down. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, heart opens. Stay for the exhale. Come back to the center. You're lifting up, so you're breathing in. Now I want you to exhale and just drop your head. So palms are in front of you. Big breath. Push the floor away from you. And really let your tailbone sink down to the mat. Big breath in. Exhale and walk those hands right back to where we started. Take a big breath in, lift up. Hands to your heart, exhale. Breathe in and out. One more. Exhale. Now, what we're going to do is, this is very, very beginner, you guys. I'm going to break it down for you in different videos so you can really start to understand the basics of the Vinyasa flow. So this video is literally just about how the breath works with the body. So we're going to lower down to our back. Take a big long stretch. Like just the best stretch ever. And then we're going to hug our knees into our chest. Just squeeze them up there. Then bring your feet back to the floor. Shoulder blades nice and open onto the floor. You're just going to let your hips fall apart. So your feet stay together and the hips fall apart. This is called Supta Baddha Konasana. So you're kind of like a butterfly. And if that's hard for you to access, you can take books or blocks and put them underneath each thigh. So I'll do a video about props, but just know that blocks bring the floor up, straps make your arms longer. That's what they do. So the breath. So close your eyes, and you can bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. So this is all about the breath in a Vinyasa flow. So the first breath we talked about was Ujjayi breath, that audible breath. You breathe in on the upswing, the folds, you exhale. So now your breath is the anchor for your practice from the beginning to the end. The sound of the breath will switch from Ujjayi breath. You may use several breaths throughout the Vinyasa flow, but the attention to the breath never wavers. You trade all of the thoughts about the day, about the pose, for for the breath, and that anchors you into a really still space, and that is yoga. So here we are on our back in Supta Baddha Konasana, and the focus is still on our breath, but our breath is not making that sound anymore. So I want you to really feel that. Just focus on the way the air feels coming in and out of your nostrils. Now shift your focus on the breath to your belly, how it rises and falls. Notice that our awareness is still on the breath. We just shifted the way that we're using it. Good. So the last pose, the last thing I'm going to teach you in this video is called Shavasana. So Shavasana, just bring your knees together. It's final resting pose. So you really bring your feet as wide as the mat, arms out by your side, and let your palms face up. And there's no work in Shavasana. It is the opposite of work. It's the space in which you receive your yoga practice. And if a thought comes into your head, you just trade that thought for breathe in, breathe out. And you do that over and over again. You just make that trade. And you revel in the stillness of the practice. You can stay in Shavasana, so just stay right where you are if you'd like to. So that is intro to Vinyasa flow. It's really about using the breath and the body together to create this container of stillness for your yoga practice. So if you get into a pose in a situation where your body won't do the pose, just keep creating your container with the breath. Drop the pose, sit down, keep the breath. That's it. That's yoga. Hold your space. That is what we're doing. We're using the body and the breath to facilitate a state of meditation, and that is yoga. That's it. There's no time like now to start a yoga practice. It really is for everyone. Namaste.